In today's video, I'm going to be explaining why the Epsilon program is going to be absolutely massive in Grand Theft Auto 6. We'll be talking about all of that in this video today and a whole lot more. So I'm sure you guys are well aware of the Epsilon program, but you might not know just exactly how it started, especially if you've only played GTA 5. It actually didn't begin in GTA 5. It started in Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. And to give you the long story short, the Epsilon program is a religious cult that is led by their leader, Chris Formage. And the cult actually first emerged as a teaser site for Grand Theft Auto San Andreas and was later referenced numerous times on radio stations and by pedestrians in the game itself. Now, the cult is an obvious scam intended to gain money by brainwashing its followers into paying large sums of money, which is probably parodying the real-life Church of Scientology. In Formage's own words, it's a fellowship of like-minded adults who tithe money in exchange for salvation and merit badges. Now, as far as we know, the Epsilon program apparently existed as early as 1984 when Tina Jane, a DJ for Vice City FL in Grand Theft Auto Vice City Stories, actually referenced the program on her radio show, indicating that a friend was trying to get her to join. And their influence seems to have continued as late as 2001, as shown when a man calls into Chatterbox FM to say that last guy was so full of crap, everyone knows women are made from sand, only for Laszlo to quickly hang up on him, dismissing the call as another lunatic. And that last statement right there has two important points. Number one, that the Epsilon program is confirmed and has been in Vice City, and the last one being referenced by Laszlo Jones. And that's who we're going to be talking about in this video today, and also why I believe it's going to be huge in GTA 6. Now, the Epsilon program continued into Grand Theft Auto 4 as several references of it, both direct and indirect, happen in that game. There are actually some hobos who believe aliens are trying to take their sperm, pedestrians who cry, "Oh no, they've killed another truth seeker," and soapboxers who rant about the paradise and how all others are slaved and damned. In fact, Bluesy St. John claims she once ended up spending her Thursday nights in a group that prayed to Kiflam, while Brendan Roberts suggests that he is a member of the cult. For example, he says Kiflam at the end of his interview on Intelligent Agenda on Public Liberty Radio. And the cult also sponsors chiropracticovernight.com and is mentioned by the My Room Online user RavenAmp11 on her profile. And in The Lost and the Damned, there's a website called morningwoodspa.com. The description of therapist Betty Mama Bear Whiffleton says that Betty ran a cult with her ex-husband, who also happens to be her brother and uncle. It also says she trained for 3 days as the certified shaman in the state of San Andreas, where the Epsilon program is based. And then, of course, in GTA 5, this is where the Epsilon program plays a much more prominent role. And we'll explain why that's the case in a little bit, but that's where the headquarters of the cult is actually located, near the home of Michael DeSanta. Early on in the game, the player can hear a Weasel News broadcast stating that the Epsilon program was denied religious status by the US government and so can now be taxed. And as you guys know, Michael can actually become a member of the Epsilon program and has several missions dedicated to him, including seeking the truth, accepting the truth, assuming the truth, chasing the truth, bearing the truth, delivering the truth, exercising the truth, and unknowing the truth. And of course, in GTA Online, which we know takes place in modern times, there are several references to the Epsilon program cult. Like, for example, after the player's first death, they'll actually have a vision of the cult's leader, Chris Formage, who explains the concept of passive mode and then revives the player.
Welcome, brother. Welcome. You see, they said I was a charlatan, a fraud, a nothing. But I am a miracle. Look and behold in wonder. And ask yourself, what does mighty Chris Formage, leader of the Epsilon program, do with his enormous power? Why, he uses it to watch people, of course. Join me anytime you like in watching. They never find out, and they can't harm you. It is the greatest pleasure on earth. And trust me, I've lain with a multitude of women.
You can also get an Epsilon program t-shirt. There's several other accessories that you can get as well. So long story short, Rockstar Games has well expanded the Epsilon program in GTA 5, and this was on purpose, and I feel like this will only lead to its bigger explosion in Grand Theft Auto 6. And for this, we actually have to go to an interview from Laszlo Jones. It talks about his time at Rockstar Games and what he's doing now working with Dan Houser at Absurd Ventures, but there's one part of the interview that actually goes on to talk about one of the craziest phone calls he ever got. It says Laszlo Jones reveals the phone call that left him both excited and scared to death while working on Grand Theft Auto at Rockstar. So this is what the interview goes on to say. During the development of GTA 5, Laszlo Jones received a disturbing phone call from a fan. They had left a message on his work phone. Taking the call, Jones heard a woman introduce herself as representing the followers of the Epsilon program. These were GTA players who had gone through all of the games in the series looking for morsels of new information on the religion and had formed a real-life group. Going on to say, "We're dying to know more." Was this person just an over-enthusiastic fan who wanted to know more about the Epsilon program as a part of a cool community Easter egg hunt? Apparently not. Laszlo Jones went on to say she was essentially saying that they were worshippers of this fake religion that we had come up with. And Jones headed straight into Dan Houser's office in Rockstar's New York headquarters to tell him about this crazy voicemail I got. My second thought was we should actually come up with a fake religion and get really, really rich on the back of people searching for the meaning in life, he joked. Jones and Houser weren't put off by the mystery caller, though. They doubled down on the Epsilon program for GTA 5, creating various missions and cutscenes that revolved around the fake religion. They even wrote a Bible called the Epsilon Tract and split it into multiple pieces that were scattered across the game world for players to find. Laszlo goes on to say she genuinely sounded like she was a follower of the Epsilon program. It's crazy when you make a satire of something because we were very straightforward about it. We created a website for the Epsilon program back in 2004, and all the copy on that, it's in my mind very clear that it's a money grab, modern-day fictional religion, but they sounded like proper followers of it. It excited me and scared me to death simultaneously. And so it's because of that answer right there that I think Rockstar is going to continue to absolutely make the Epsilon program a huge part of GTA 6, considering that cults and fake religions like this still very much exist in 2024. And it apparently has become a big part of the way Rockstar markets Grand Theft Auto games. They did so creating a website for GTA San Andreas, and you might remember that they actually created a social media account on Twitter, which is now X. It is called Epsilonism Today, what's happening right now in American religion. And this was a Twitter account literally created by Rockstar, and they put out around 150 posts all around the time when Grand Theft Auto 5 was coming out. And it was something that the fans got attracted to. They got excited about it every time the Epsilon program tweeted or put out a new post. Players became interested in it. And so I believe they are going to do this for Grand Theft Auto 6. We already know that social media is going to be a huge part of that game. And so because of it, naturally, you could see the Epsilon program expanding into the online world of social media. And we know that the Epsilon program already exists in Vice City because remember, in 1984, Tina Jane, the DJ for Vice City FL and Vice City Stories, actually references the program on her radio show, indicating that a friend was trying to get her to join. So their influence seems to have gone all the way down to Vice City and now the state of Leonida. And I can see Rockstar Games introducing the Epsilon program quite heavily in Grand Theft Auto 6 too. And I wish I could show you this one video clip from the leaks, but it's essentially where Jason runs into these two guys talking around the pool, and they're referencing crazy things like the Chinese government, and they're referencing Life Invader and how it, basically eats your brain and crazy stuff like that. So if they're already doing wacky nonsense about like social media or fake social media like Life Invader, which is a parody of Facebook, I think Rockstar can have an absolute field day with a cult religion like the Epsilon program. So I feel like it's going to be absolutely massive in Grand Theft Auto 6. But I'd love to hear from you guys in those comments down below. Does this latest interview from Laszlo Jones, who did work on Grand Theft Auto 6 to a degree, even though he left, of course, in 2020, he was still a part of a lot that's going to be going into that game. So will we see a lot of the Epsilon program? Let me know what you think in those comments down below. I'd love to hear from you guys down there. If you guys did go and enjoy this video though, a like rating would of course be awesome. And be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel if you are new. You want to stay up to date on all the GTA 6 videos that I'll be doing here on my channel. And be sure to ring that notification bell as well. Sometimes YouTube just doesn't work, and if you ring that bell, you'll always be guaranteed to be notified when new videos arrive. But of course, as always guys, thank you all so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video.